While there are always possibilities for further downside for Bitcoin, in this video, I want to talk about the case and the indicators for bullish continuation, because there are many indicators suggesting just that. What's up, everyone? Thanks for coming by Crypto Capital Venture. Appreciate you cruising by. Hit that subscribe on the way in. Let's jump into the video. I need to stretch just a little bit. I'm trying to get back in the groove. I had a daughter, my first child on Thursday, and I'm trying to get settled in here. So bear with me, but let's jump into the charts, everybody. Weekly chart. A few things I really want to point out on this chart. Remember, this is about bullish continuation. There are many indicators. There is a strong case for bullish continuation. It starts on the macro. It starts on the weekly. So what we know so far is we broke out of this upper trend line, neckline of an inverse head and shoulders. We know that. We've tracked it. I mean, this is like a month in the making. And we're looking for support potentially if there is a pullback at that neckline. But the thing that is matching up on these charts actually extends back to the last time Bitcoin was getting ready to enter the bull market. We're talking post 2016 halving, going into the bull market, breaking through the bull market doors right here, the 786 to 618. Bitcoin's getting ready to do a similar thing. And you can see when it comes to momentum oscillators, Bitcoin setting up in a very similar way. Here's the inverse head and shoulders on this RSI down here. You can see it playing out perfectly. What strikes me the most is Bitcoin bouncing right off of this 52, 53 area on this RSI, because we talked about this is something that happened back in 2016 before Bitcoin really started to make a run into the bull market. And you can see the same exact thing happened after we put in this right shoulder of this inverse head and shoulders. That is a really big deal of confluence for me, and I wanted to point it out to you on this weekly chart. Remember, this Fibonacci area, the bull market doors, back then lies right around $16,000 to $13,000 today. And we get an idea of what that looks like here on the daily chart. This green rectangle here, that is the bull market doors. You can see it, it's noted. Now on this daily chart, an area I wanted to point out to you for, again, the case for bullish continuation is simple. We've talked about this area before when Bitcoin back in, this was spring of 2019, broke out of the bear market low, basically, coming out of December, right? We obviously fell into a little pattern, but then we really broke away from that 50-day moving average, and we put in this rising channel of sorts. Many people probably thinking that's a bearish setup, we're coming back down, but actually Bitcoin broke back up. And we talk about Bitcoin in that upward momentum environment, putting in a rising channel, a rising wedge, whatever you want to call it, is oftentimes a really bullish case and a reflection of what Bitcoin does in uptrends. We also saw it happen often in the last bull market, rising channels. So zooming back in on the chart, we have a very similar setup right here as Bitcoin gets that overextension from the 50 moving average, very similar to what happened in March of 2019 before we saw some really nice gains for Bitcoin. You can even see the consolidation here on the RSI, very similar to what it was doing back then, as Bitcoin getting ready to put in those higher highs and higher lows for its run to 14,000. That is another indicator and a case for Bitcoin when it comes to bullish continuation. So now if we dig in here on the 6-hour chart, this gives you a really short-term area, I guess you could say short-term areas to watch for. And that would be, we're in this rising channel. This is essentially what it looks like on the 6-hour. We have targets to the upside, 14,000, targets to the downside around 10,300. That 10,300 is important because if we zoom in on this daily chart that we were just looking at, I want to chart this for you. Let me just zoom in real quick. That last swing high, last summer, $13,000 to $14,000, Bitcoin needs to break that, obviously. But if we chart the Fibonacci retracements to that swing high to our March swing low that we just came out of, we have this area. This 618 on this Fibonacci channel is very key in terms of support for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, you can see, broke through this green channel, and we're currently just hovering at this 786 line. On the short term, extremely important area, 11,700. What will Bitcoin do? Breaking and extension away from that. Very bullish indicator for Bitcoin. Now, to the downside, I just want to throw this out there. There's our rising wedge. Remember, we just looked on the 6-hour chart with the $10,300 target. You can see that's right in the vicinity of that 618. I'm not worried if Bitcoin retraces to 10,000. It's a possibility. I'm throwing it out there. It would not worry me. It would be very normal for bullish continuation. Even so, that's a big dip for Bitcoin, but just be prepared for it. To the upside, though, we're looking at to the upper trend line target right around 12,600. That could happen pretty quickly. You know, the next couple days even, Bitcoin can begin its move to that area, testing that area. Will it break? If it does, we have our target to the upside again around 14,000. If you zoom all the way out on this 6-hour chart, you see the area of resistance that lies within that $14,000 area. It's insane for Bitcoin. Will it break through? If it hits that target, time will tell. That is what we will track. But if you look at all these charts, the 6-hour, the daily, the weekly, you can see all of these indicators lining up with historical data that suggests if Bitcoin follows what it does often, there is a very strong case for bullish continuation. And I wanted to just do a real quick video to discuss that, to throw it out there, to share that data with you, because it might be something to get ready for, to prepare for. And as you know, on the downside, that 618 down here on this very key Fibonacci area, 10,300, don't be surprised. I'm not worried if it happened, but just be prepared. Those are my thoughts as I get this YouTube channel going again. As we jump back into this, let me know your thoughts. If you're here, not a subscriber, hit the subscribe. I appreciate you coming by. Hit the like on the way out. It means a lot. I will see you all in the next video. God bless.